Hello there, my Captain Play guys and gals. This is Captain Play Guy, here with the 8th Playguyaversary. This channel's been going for 8 years, but the streaming I do on Twitch has only been a regular thing of mine for coming up on 2 years. However, the streams I have archived on YouTube from Twitch from the past year and a half or so were far from the first streams I ever did. I actually did live streams on YouTube occasionally over the years, along with a few here and there on Twitch. Today, I'd like to take a look back over these streams and give you all a peek behind the screen, tell you some extra details and background for these streams before reaching my streaming prowess to this day. The first live stream was just some aimless, random Monster Hunter Tri gameplay during my first semester at college. Streaming on a regular basis wasn't something I was intending to do yet. I was still focused on regularly uploaded Let's Plays and other gameplay videos. Live streaming was an extra treat for me. With that in mind, Monster Hunter Tri was a perfect game to just pick up and play, just hunt monsters for a few hours. I used Google Plus to broadcast the feed from my Dazzle. I completely forgot about that aspect. I mean, who really wants to remember Google Plus? At least there was something good I could do from its services. Unfortunately, there was an extra issue with this stream that I wasn't really aware of during it. It might even be an issue with how YouTube saved it or later updates affecting it, because I really don't remember this bad cropping during the stream. I had it pulled up on my computer to read the live chat, and I don't remember seeing the top and bottom getting cut off like that. Anyway, thankfully, I wasn't alone during that stream. I had at least one other person in the chat engaging with me. Stelio78910. It's been a long time since we've spoke. How are you doing now? You used to pop into my videos often. I hope you're doing well. One last thing I remember, and very distinctly, I took a break around halfway through, and during that time, I got a Sprite out of the fridge and drank it. I remember that Sprite very distinctly, and I'm not really sure why. The next few streams on YouTube were done using my old Dazzle and a program called Adobe Live Encoder. Just talking about these gets me nostalgic, more so with the Dazzle. I did many of my Let's Plays with that thing. I never use it anymore, but I don't think I'll ever be able to make myself get rid of it. Anyway, the Live Encoder program was a free program to download, and it worked. Better than what it was worth. It was consistent, and I didn't have trouble with disconnects. However, it wasn't as perfect as you'll see. It was dropping some frames every few seconds, and it was consistent in that regard too. I never investigated whether it was a problem with my Dazzle, the Live Encoder, or my computer being too old at the time. Whatever the case, it was the best I had, and for the time, I was happy to have some ability to live stream. And I was early in my college career, away from home, on my own on campus. I didn't have to worry about bothering family, and my schedule was a lot freer. So it came together at a nice time. The next live stream I did is probably the most popular live stream I've ever done. Sonic and the Secret Rings Party Mode. I did well promoting that it would happen about a week in advance to drum up hype, but I couldn't have predicted this sort of turnout. I think I peaked around 30-something viewers during this, but I could be wrong on that. Definitely the most viewers in one stream though. And the chat was active with several people, close friends and new viewers alike. I was also on a Skype call with a bunch of people, some of which were YouTube friends. I just joined out of courtesy, didn't want to address them specifically because then they'd reply back and I didn't have a way to include them in the voice, so I was on mute. But they wanted me in the call and wanted to hear my commentary live rather than on the live stream so they could spoil chat and viewers. They were threatening with leaving the stream if I didn't turn on voice. I didn't turn on my voice on Skype, and I don't think they really did anything. I'm still amazed at how popular that stream turned out to be. It's still accruing views to this day. It's not even the complete collection and playthrough of the minigames. It was just what I had unlocked in the years before, which was maybe half of them. Unfortunately, it looks like a few parts of the stream were corrupted. I don't know what happened to it. Thankfully, this sort of corruption was rare, but unfortunately, it was not the only time it would happen. I'll briefly cover the next live stream I did so as to not leave any gaps. It didn't turn out very interesting though. I was going to attempt to play Star Fox 64 blindfolded. Well, I say blindfolded, but it was really just a towel over my head. I had a friend nicknamed Cthulhu join me to vouch for my blindness. Of course, the way I played, you could probably tell anyway. I tried it for about 10 minutes and then kinda gave up on it and we just played it like normal. I still think that a blindfolded run of Star Fox 64 could be done, not necessarily by me, but it would need a lot of practice. My next livestream was a playthrough of New Super Mario Bros. U. However, I wasn't the one who bought the game for me. Back in high school, one of my best friends, who was using the name Zane to promote his music at the time, promised to get me New Super Mario Bros. U if I got a Wii U. I did get a Wii U, but it took years for him to actually get the game. By that time, I was in college, away from where we both went to high school, so he had to mail it to me, and we couldn't play it together. I invited another friend, Cthulhu from before, to come play with me. I wasn't about to play that game alone. So Cthulhu and I streamed playing this for 4.5 hours. We just kept going and actually beat the whole game in one sitting. It was crazy, even for us. I think we made a good team. It was fun. But for a long time, there was a copyright strike or whatever that prevented me from downloading it from my YouTube. I could have used another video downloader, but the file would have been huge and it wasn't pressing. But now that claim or strike or whatever is gone. Just a little tidbit. I haven't touched the game since, and I conclude this segment with the clip I remember best from that stream. I cannot believe that actually just happened.
What? What just happened?
I beat him for us. I took a chance.
Oh my god, that was great.
We were starving by the end. This old stream was the last one I did, using the old setup of Dazzle and Live Encoder. I invited a bunch of my friends over to play Smash Bros. On Wii U. I originally planned to have some stipulations to use for my friends to play. I had several prepared, but I only used a couple of them. It was just more fun to let them play. I didn't play in it myself, I just commentated. We had a grand old time. At one point, on the request of Trailmix Blazer, everyone did the side taunt with Shulk. I'm really feeling it! I don't remember much else specifically about it, just that it was a fun stream. Chat was nicely active, lots of fun. After the stream was over, I remember saying that I felt tired. One of my friends there, Darius, said all I did was talk. I didn't reply because I didn't want to get into how much energy and brain power it takes to commentate constantly for hours on end. It's a unique sort of tired. Between that stream and the next one, I upgraded my capture card. I asked for an Elgato HD60 for Christmas. It came in the mail, I took some time to learn how to set it up, and that became my main capture card, even to this day. For games on consoles with HD ports, I would record and stream with the Elgato. Older consoles would have to be recorded on the Dazzle still at this point. The results of streaming on the Elgato were nice. HD video, finally. And at a consistent frame rate with little to no dropped frames at all. My computer was able to run the software fine for recording and streaming. It was the bare minimum specs for streaming I could run though. I wanted to have fancier stuff like chat overlay and alerts, but for whatever reason the Elgato software would just be too intensive on my computer. So I was limited for a while to just streaming gameplay with no extra features on screen. Still a big improvement overall. The first stream I did with the Elgato was Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. It was sort of a test run for streaming as this was the first time doing so. I invited a couple of friends, one of them being Cthulhu, who appears in-game as Maito, to play with me. They played along on their 3DS versions while I had the Wii U game going for that stream. We hunted monsters for almost 4 hours. In that time, my friends helped me get the materials for Brachydios armor, which has the slime component. How they explained it to me was that slime was strong against everything and only weak to itself. So, they set me up to succeed in any future hunts in that game. They also helped me do another hunt for a monster I never did before, Gen Moran. I never really understood the size of that thing until that day. You needed a whole ass ship with cannons to fight that thing, and then you jump on it to hit it. Man, that was awesome. I haven't touched the game since that stream, but maybe I'll play it again on Twitch for my Saturday streams. Now behold, the first stream I did of my amiibo, Super Smash Bros. For Amiibo. I hyped it up with a trailer, which you can watch with this card. I had actually scheduled the stream for 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I had to move it to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I was recording something else with other friends starting at 4. I invited Cthulhu over again for this stream too. I also invited an old friend to read the chat for us, be the comment lector as I put it. I think he goes by Tempest Demon Arashi now, but he used to go by Lael Sota. The setup was weird because at that time I didn't know how to patch Tempest Lael through the computer speakers to be heard directly through the stream, so I tried doing a Skype call with my phone and putting that up to the mic. The phone wasn't loud enough, but fortunately I had a tablet from a package deal with Verizon. However, I never used it, and it had run out of battery, so it needed to be charged. So I'm sitting on my bed with Cthulhu, computer on my desk, tablet in hand, tablet plugged into the wall, charging cable, taut as I tried to get the tablet speakers to the mic. Strange arrangement, but I made it work. I pit each amiibo against each other at level 1, basically infants.
Babies! They're babies! Ugh!
I think at one point someone was writing in chat in Spanish, which unfortunately none of us knew. Demon Sota had to Google Translate or whatever to get the message across. At the end, we took those 4 amiibo that had trained themselves and pit them against 4 level 9 CPUs. The CPUs were picked by friends and chat. We reached a compromise with the CPU team. One last thing. Who remembers when Ridley was a stage boss? Fun stream. And it paved the way for the next stream. Super Smash Bros. For Amiibo 2, The Contending. I got 4 new amiibo to train each other with the goal of pitting them against the 4 amiibo of the previous stream. I brought back Cthulhu and Arashi for this stream too. I started the stream a bit early while Cthulhu was still playing against the CPU. It is possible that the Spanish chatter was in this stream and not the previous one. Anyway, once the next batch of 4 amiibo were trained up, we got them into teams to fight against each other. And honestly, it was a landslide victory for the Fox, Luigi, Link, and Bowser amiibo. Strange thing I noticed watching back the final game was my Fox amiibo was teabagging at one point. I don't know where that came from or what he was doing. He hadn't been trained beyond the original stream, so he couldn't have picked it up from a human player. And how would an amiibo learn to teabag by itself? The last live stream that appears under my live tab on my YouTube channel is the 2 parts of the Spyrim run I started for my 3rd Playguyaversary. Basically, I just snuck around Skyrim with a dagger and backstabbed him. Like the spy. It was a fun time for everyone there. Something went wrong with the streaming that forced me to reset, which is why it split into 2 parts. Unfortunately, the first part, which had the best moments, got stuck in processing purgatory on YouTube. No idea why. It was never a problem before or since. It's a real shame because there was one moment where I evaded detection against all odds. I was in the Ember Shard mine, sneaking and killing my way through, when a bandit was investigating the area I just killed in. I was by the bed sacks and campfire, which were at the water's edge in the mine. I just stood still, watching the bandit look for me. I was on the verge of being discovered. But for some reason, the bandit didn't see me or bump into me and walked back to his post. Incredible. I wish I still had that. I know I wasn't alone when that happened. I know that my friend Josef von Usenvard was in the chat and he commented about how my sneak was masterful. Not exactly what he said, but that's the gist of it. I did try to continue the run on my Twitch page the week after, but something was absolutely wrong. My stream kept cutting out. It would only get like 30 to 45-second clips onto Twitch, then go offline. No idea what was wrong, and by the time I learned about it, I was already quite a ways in. I had another incredible sneaking moment, which was cut out by the stream gods. I was by Bleak Falls Barrow, sneaking and killing my way to the front door. I'm in the corner of one of the pillars, close to being found. A bandit was walking in front of me. My position was to the left and front of the bandit. I took a chance and attacked. The game played the cinematic where I was behind and slit the bandit's throat. I insta-killed him with a sneak attack from the front. It was basically a face stab. But then the same thing happened with another bandit just seconds later. I basically face stabbed the other bandit, which also got a cinematic. And the damn stream didn't pick up either of those moments. And for people that might say, well, why weren't you recording while streaming? The reason why was because my computer at that time barely met the minimum specs for the Elgato. It was basically a one or the other kind of deal. After that whole mess, trying to stream that, I gave up on the Spyrim run. This particular stream I'll be talking about has no existing footage of it left. I didn't export it from Twitch to YouTube, and I didn't make clips or highlights of it. It was that one time I streamed playing Mario Party 2 single player. I was casually playing a game with CPUs on Spaceland. I did this stream to test out a new gadget I bought, an AV to HDMI converter. And I was pleasantly surprised with how it looked. I thought the Elgato feed looked better than what was on my TV screen. It wasn't a popular stream though. I only remember one person attending, which was Tempest. There was one very interesting thing about the stream, which should have been the reason for me to export it and save it in the first place. I got robbed of first place twice during that game. I remember having over 100 coins at 2 different points in the game, and getting robbed of all those coins by the coin beam Bowser has on the Spaceland board. It was crazy. Just sheer sustained bad luck. I was doing great otherwise. I fought my way to the top several times over the CPUs, which were on hard difficulty, by the way. I wish I thought to save that stream. The second to last stream I'll be talking about today is the Star Fox Zero stream I did on Twitch. This was release day for Star Fox Zero. I was really excited about this. I knew going into it the plot would have major similarities to the old Star Fox games on SNES and N64. I still wanted to support the series since it had been like 8 years since the last original Star Fox game, so I did my first playthrough of the game live on stream soon after getting back from Walmart. I wasn't really prepared for the game. First of all, the controls. I know in general, people hate the controls. It is very tricky, but I got comfortable with it after a little while and I was enjoying the game regardless. It has a big learning curve to it though, and should not have been the only way to play the game. Traditional controls should have been available. Moving on, the graphics were amazing. The world felt huge. You were fighting gigantic bosses, going inside halls of the enemy boss ships. I was also pleasantly surprised with the details they added into the plot. They gave some extra backstory regarding what Andros was working on that got him banished to Venom. The soundtrack is a banger too. Instantly I knew I had to look up the soundtrack. I do remember getting a few people in chat throughout, people I hadn't seen before. I was happy with that stream. Unfortunately, the export corrupted, so whole minutes of the stream are out of order. Some later segments got moved to earlier in the video and pushed earlier segments later in the video. This is another game I haven't touched since I streamed it, but I've thought many times over the years I should come back and play this again. But I never do. Partly laziness with setting up the Wii U again, and partly because I don't know how to save games mid-run, so I worry about having to be on the hook for like 3 or 4 hours to finish the game. I really should just look up how to save. If and when I get that Wii U plugged in again, maybe I'll do that. The last live stream I want to talk about is the Smash Wii U Classic 9.0 attempts I did on Twitch. I wanted to get that done for the Smash Achieves. I already had done it on 3DS with a Mii Brawler. Make of that what you will, whether it be odd, funny, interesting, or something else. So I'm trying to go through 9.0 on Smash Wii U, hoping to make it through, but fine with if I didn't. I didn't have the last 3 DLC characters purchased, but they were available at that time. That was a popular stream of mine too. I had an active chat going. Another friend of mine, Sergeant Cloudrunner, was in the chat and produced a Photoshop, which he linked in chat, and I showed it in the highlight reel of that stream. Oh yeah, this was also the first stream I made a highlight reel of. It was a complicated process, maybe more than it needed to. The process went, I watched the stream back on Twitch until I found a good clip, clipped it from the stream, exported the clip to YouTube, downloaded the clip from YouTube, and loaded it into my video editor. I don't think Twitch had the highlight tool it has now to make a highlight reel of the whole stream, but looking back, I might have been able to cut out a step by downloading the clips directly from Twitch. You can still find those clips on my Twitch page. I did get a lot of good moments, and it made for a nice video. However, people didn't stick around for too long and were leaving within an hour or two. I felt myself running out of steam around halfway through and getting frustrated, partly because it was just me at that point. The first half of that stream I'm proud of, but the latter half, The Smash Wii U Classic 9.0 stream was done back in July 2016. I didn't do another live stream for years after that. Not until February 2019. I'm glad to have finally found my stride with streaming. I was too focused on streaming with the Elgato software when I could have everything I want in a stream from free streaming software. I use Streamlabs OBS now. I have a chat overlay, I have custom alerts. It's been liberating making that transition. Now, streams aren't just a special occasional treat. They're a regular thing I do, and it's something I'll keep doing for the foreseeable future. But I won't be exclusively streaming if you were concerned about that. Thank you to everyone who supported me over these 8 years with all of the videos and Let's Plays and streams that I've done. I very much appreciate it. Here's to 8 more years, I guess.